small town boy, Chef Vikas Khanna, made it big with sheer passion and hard work. Your story met him to know more about his recipe for success.
Food means hunger to me. Hunger in real sense. You have a kid at home who's obsessed with food, and he's growing up in riots in 1984. There's almost no food at home. The day I will forget that night of scarcity. Scarcity has so much power in food. That is when you value it. It becomes precious. For me, food means culture. I do not patronize people. I patronize the culture. Culture is much bigger. It's infinite. It's wide. It's endless. People disappear. Culture stays. I'm very proud of people eating out. That is how I make my money. But you know what hurts me? Not the nuclear family. Nuclear family, they don't hurt me. What hurts me is disconnection. That disconnection hurts me a lot. When I see that kids don't meet their grandparents once or twice a year, or sometimes they meet after 5 years. Our real culture is transcended into us, not by our parents. And I'm saying this not as a statement, as a very important comment. And I stand by that word. The culture is transcended into our blood veins through our grandparents. Parents are too busy with social obligations, earning money, survival, everything. Nobody can start smaller than me. When I was 16, I used to sell sweaters with my mother. I made 580 blue sweaters, which is actually the cover of Hymns from the Soil. That blue is taken from that sweater. Symbols. So beauty was that, you know, we used to make sweaters for the school, and we made 580 sweaters by hand, and we got paid almost 8,000 rupees, or approximately 10. And that is when we bought our first chairs, tables, dishes, spoons, and a tandoor. We got a sign which said Lawrence Garden, and it spelled garden wrong, because this wonderful Sardarji who's done work with me forever, he's always said GARDN is garden. So I think E is missing. He's saying, oh, you have to pay me extra for that. So for years, our thing was spelled garden was wrong, because we didn't think that it was money should not be put there. So I started my life from there, and it was a big loss for many years. My mother is the one who stood by it, kept believing in it. Belief is very important, because belief is something which can sustain all the rains and storms. And when it snows and everything is locked out, so many times you'll be locked out of your own business.
Started your first business?
It was called business only by us.
Okay.
People called it charity.
Right.
Because we never made a single rupee out of it. Lawrence Garden started when I was 17. I still remember the moment when we made the first 50 rupees. So we had a big mango tree. It was back of a house, not a rented space or commercial space. Back of a house, we'll do small kitty parties. We had 24 white plates, and we had 16 chairs, and we had 2 tables, 1 tandoor. Everything was counted and so limited. I loved it. And we made the first money. I remember me and my mother hugging each other and almost crying and saying that we made it. We made it. And you know, that day I was receiving this national award, and at GQ, I guess, and my mother was in the crowd. I said, Mom, now we can say we made it. If I have to live my life in one moment, it would be standing in the rain in my little kitchen in Lawrence Garden. We didn't have any shed or anything. It was open kitchen. So right before the party it started raining. I was very young. That 1 minute, I lived my whole life. I don't want to forget a kitchen without the roof. And I stood there. It's raining, I'm trying to put tandoor, and all the fire is coming to my face, and I'm literally burning myself. And my mother is standing next to me holding an umbrella, not to let me give up. Not to let me give up. It's okay, it's raining, there's a storm, you can still do these breaths. She stood there holding an umbrella. Imagine what makes you is so hard. It just can't break you. I work in a market which is the most affluent and most influential, at the same time most critical. At the same time, it is a market which is so crazy that you can be forgotten in a few seconds. New York City is defining what we are thinking. It has such an influence on the world. So to stay fresh there, you've got to be standing with all their native chefs of America, European chefs, Japanese chefs, French chefs. So you're standing next to them. So you could be creating work which is of much grandeur, memory and retention. You know, whenever you're an entrepreneur and you have a dream, one thing you need to be focusing on is 3 P's. P, persistence. Persistent. Nothing should be able to shake you like the oceans. Second is passion. I never put passion first, because passion is a very overrated word. I am passionate about cooking. What do I do? You're persistent about cooking, and that's why you're learning how to bake and you're learning how to cook. Passion comes third. And third is that you've got to be priceless in your value. You can't just say that, you know, I started this and everybody's going to respond equally the way you started for. When I'm hiring a chef, you will hear a lot of chefs will come to you, American, European, Australians. So when they'll come to you, chef, you want to work and everything. So I give them suka atta, just plain whole wheat flour. I said, can you make this perfect bread for me? It's very easy to talk. Food is art, it's a subject of great creativity. These words I am writing 24 hours. It actually means nothing if you've not practiced it. It's a very difficult art. Any art is difficult because you've got to master it. You can't fake it. You've got to keep doing it till you never get it wrong. Is Jugnu Vikas? And I said, no, Jugnu is not Vikas. Jugnu is Jugnu. Let Jugnu have his own life. Let him inspire kids and people in their own way. When we are born, we always have a reflection of a mother in our smile, father in our eyes, you know. Oh, you walk like just like your grandparents, you know. So that reflection always stays. So because of everyone thinking that Jugnu has some of my reflections because it's my creation. But Jugnu is Jugnu. It's really interesting when people ask me, what's next? And I say, I haven't started yet. Next is not there. There's no next. Let the universe bring it to you and you create it.